Crank it up, man. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to help you. Welcome to the stage, the man, the myth, the legend, put those rock fists in the air, ladies and gentlemen, Snider!
Wow. That was pretty impressive. Can we do that again?
Yeah, we Knoxville, Tennessee! Right about now, I need you to get up at your seat, on your feet, put those hands together for the man, you see it, who's in stage, Mr. Snider!
Wow. Standing on, let's do that again. I'm just fucking with you. I don't know if I can beat that with my Q&A. I'm just gonna, good night! Just walk right up the other end of the stage. Hey everybody, how you doing? Thanks for coming out here and hanging out with me. I am here to entertain you, contrary to the chairs and tables in front of me, which suck. Can we like move this stuff? Because I feel like I'm in Congress again. Yes, get rid of this stuff. So, give me my coffee, because without coffee, now my whole life I've told people I've been drug-free. That is a lie. Caffeine is a drug. Don't let anybody fool you. I was nearly kicked out of Twisted Sister the first month I was in the band because I was too caffeinated and I was driving everybody fucking nuts. So guys were like, dude, you've got to cut back. So I did a little bit, but not just enough. Wow, how we start this thing? I guess I start this thing. I guess I start by saying, it's good to be here in Knoxville. Apparently I canceled the show with Iron Maiden. It wasn't my fault. I believe it was the townspeople the townsfathers who stopped us from playing, and we had to cancel the show back in '84. My apologies, it was a great show you missed. And over the last whole bunch of years, I've done so many different things. It's confusing to people sometimes when they wait on my line, they find out that one person is there for Celebrity Apprentice, another person is there for The House of Hair, another person is there for Strangeland, another one's there for Twisted. For everything, I've been on Broadway, I've done all kinds of stuff, which allows me to talk about pretty much anything with limited authority. So, as long as you're cool with half-assed answers, I'm ready to ask all of your questions. Answer all of your questions.
Start with, I thought you were retiring.
I thought you were going to say you thought I was retarded. I said, that's not appropriate. It's mentally challenged. Yes, I am. Retiring is a strange word. I mean, Twisted Sister retired, but I immediately, Twisted retired in November, and I released a solo album, We Are the Ones, in October. Because I'm smarter than Tom Petty, I realized that if I put a period or an exclamation point on my career, I might die a few days later. So, too soon? Is that too soon?
Too soon.
I actually want to write a show called Too Soon and just have every joke in the show be way too soon. Way too soon. So, so I've actually got bookings into 2019 already, so I can't die anytime soon. So I'm going to be around. Well, thank you for that. I thought I heard somebody say, "Oh no." I was in the Broadway show Rock of Ages, and I played the character. Thank you. I played the character Dennis Dupree, and in the show, at the end, I'm not spoiler alert. At the show, Dennis finds out that he dies in a couple of years. It's a very funny part where they're sort of going, "Well, the show's over, and a few years from now, these two get married, and Dennis dies," and I'm standing there going, "What?" He goes, "Oh yeah, you're dead, man." And so I go, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, you're dead, man." And somebody in the front row goes, "Thank God." very tough not to jump off that stage. It's like, what you're saying? I'm an actor. Okay. I'm already way too caffeinated. I just got kicked out of Twisted Sister again.
So I know you did Strangeland. Are you working on anything else coming up that we can look forward to?
I've got so many things going on. I formed a new production company called Twisted Storm with a producer buddy of mine, and the company's plan is to be a cradle-to-grave horror company. We've got a children's show just about closing a deal, no shit, with Netflix. It's called Monsters Rock. Okay, and it's about a Monster Rock band, and so that's what we're going to warm them up, and then it goes all the way down to working on. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks I got budget approval on a new horror franchise that I'm working on. I can't say anything about it, quite honestly. I'm sorry, but just last night I just found out that we were greenlit, so I'm hoping in the next month or so to be announcing a new movie, that I'm working on. And I've written a couple other pictures that I'm sending out right now. Another television show, horror-driven television show I'm working on. And Strangeland 2 has been on and off for so many years, I feel it's almost embarrassing. But honestly, I've just had so many false starts with it. And it's looking like there's genuine, real interest and support in making it a reality in 2018. So, and I'll tell you something, official, not off the record, but I'll just give you a hint. I recently had the Captain Howdy makeup on. So, for the first time in almost 20 years. So, I can tell you, it's really, and it's really starting to seem like it's going to happen. And I promise you, I have lowered the bar. So you don't raise the bar. I dug a hole and dropped the bar in the fucking trench because I gotta outdo everybody else. It's been 20 years since Captain Howdy reigned. So this is really some sick shit. So any little kids in here cursing like a sailor? Oh, you? Okay. Mom, what were you thinking? I matured, I grew up, somehow. Does she use those words? He's pointing at you. Yeah, she does. Nothing you haven't heard.
Okay. Let's get back to the floor. Does anybody have any questions? We got a question back there, Ghostbuster. Ghostbuster, go ahead and stand up.
Ghostbuster, what's up?
A few years ago, during an act for Celebrity Apprentice, you broke your finger. How many surgeries did you say that you eventually had to have to make sure you could continue to do this?
To really feature the finger and see just how fucked up. I was on Celebrity Apprentice and I broke my finger. And that's an understatement. Gotta lick it. That's what she said. He didn't get that. But to see, you can see, all right, now, when in my mind, when it happened, I was wearing camo and carrying a semi-automatic weapon. In reality, I was dressed as a princess and wearing a tiara. And I was in a medieval time show, riding side saddle. Lou Ferrigno was my knight in shining armor, and Clay Aiken was my minstrel. And sounds like some horrible surreal dream, doesn't it? And I was wearing the gown, and I wasn't a side saddle, and I was holding on, and unbeknownst to any of us, horses, when they hear a tambourine, instinctively it sounds like a rattlesnake. They know, they react, and the horse reared up, and I had to jump off the horse, and my finger got caught under the saddle. So my 200 pounds went that way, and my finger went that way. And when I got off the horse, it was literally laying like that. And before the cameras got there, my brain said, hey, that's not right. And I tried to fix it, which was just bizarre, like, you know, like, just with the thought, like, holy shit. It's not, just gotta put it back. Then it was at like a 45-degree angle. And I said, oh, I think it's just dislocated. And I had some terrified EMT with cameras all around. I said, here, just snap it back in place. So I'm standing there with my princess gown on and my tiara, but I'm taking it like a girl, and because women know how to take pain. Ladies, I know you gave birth, so anyway, and so he's yanking on his finger, and I'm like, damn! It's like, so anyway, wind up the next day, I wake up and I got a hand like a catcher's mitt. Black and blue, and I remember Lou Ferrigno said, uh-oh. Hulk said, uh-oh. I said, I am so fucked. So they rushed me to the emergency room, and to answer your question, I had emergency surgery, 7 pins, steel pins put in the finger, and then a second surgery a few months later to open it back up, remove the steel pins, 6 months of physical therapy, and to get that, which I got a great story to tell, and I won $325,000 from the March of Dimes, so I guess it was worth it.
Next question, right over there. Go ahead, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So with the band Twisted Sister and the image that you played as the character, right? Was there ever any controversy with the LGBT community and because of the AIDS spurt? And are you a big fan of SpongeBob because of the Goofy Goober song? Did you have any credit for it, or did you allow it?
Okay, 2 questions. First of all, the Twisted Sister image. Very funny. I mean, it wasn't, you called it a character. It wasn't a character. I was looking for attention of any kind, and I found by putting on, in the early days, it was literally women's clothing. I got plenty of it. And I was getting in fights every night, and it was so funny because, I could walk out literally in stockings and garters and a negligee top, and someone would go, fag, and I go, who's only a fag? We'd dive up the stage and beat some guy up, and then they'd have to tell their friends that this fag beat me up. But the funny thing was, in the very early days of Twisted, word went out to the New York City gay community that there was this new band called Twisted Sister. Gay band, okay, and they sent somebody down to review one of our shows. This isn't a bar. So they came down and they're watching the show, and we're a bunch of bikers in drag, and after the show, the guy comes backstage, and I'm in my negligee, and he goes, you guys aren't gay. And I said, why would you think we're gay? As I'm fixing my lipstick. So, I found that, though, I've gotten over the years a lot of kudos from the gay community, the LGBT community, for just being that guy who was willing to say, hey, I'm going to do what the hell I want to do, and I inspired people. I mean, one guy came up to me and said, dude, I had a sex change because of you, and I said, that isn't exactly what I was saying, but good for you. Good for you. Something got lost in the translation. I don't remember singing, I'm gonna lose my penis any day now.
Next question.
SpongeBob, D.
Oh, SpongeBob. Quickly. 2 things. I was Angry Jack, I believe, on the episode where SpongeBob breaks Gary's shell. And I'm Angry Jack, the used shell salesman, which was fun. But then I get a call one day from my managers, and they go, hey, listen, SpongeBob SquarePants is doing a movie. They want to use I Wanna Rock. I'm like, awesome, because there's licensing fees, involved there. And he goes, one catch, they want to change the words to Goofy Goober Rock. I was like, what? Are you freaking kidding me, man? I said, this is my art, this is my music, this is, how much? I'm totally down with that. Do they want me to sing it? So, a lot of money, and I'm a goofy goober. But I met some guy today who said the first time he got turned on to Twisted was Goofy Goober Rock, and now he's a Twisted fan, so it worked that way. All right, next question.
Well, first off, thank you so much for the music over the years. I mean, it's really unbelievable, and Under the Blade still sounds as fresh today as it did 35 years ago, right? And one question I want to ask you is as a band, I mean, you guys are, paid your dues for so long before you hit and then you hit and went to levels that are just, you know, were amazing. Looking back on it, I know this may sound a little bit of a generic question, but what was your favorite, you know, what's that moment that you think back on Twisted and just say, wow, you know?
Well, the reason why he is as aware as he is of the trials and tribulations of Twisted Sister is because there's a documentary called We Are Twisted Fucking Sister that is out. And it was made by a documentarian who was not a fan, but he discovered our story and the fact that the band existed for 10 years before people saw us on MTV. And we predate Motley and Rat and Poison and any other bands. You know, Kiss had taken their makeup off and we were putting it on like idiots. But we believed in this crazy thing we were doing and we just refused to take no for an answer. And you can watch this movie whether you're a fan or not and be inspired just by 5 guys who just, again, won't take no for an answer, just keep swinging at that ball until they hit it out of the park. Now, you know, when you do, there's these moments that just stay with you forever, like that moment, you know, is where I knew the band had arrived. And we had, upon releasing the record, we went immediately over to Europe and we were touring in Europe and we were hearing that the record was doing really well back in the States. But when I came home, I got back and I was going up literally to the 7-Eleven to get some milk or something, I don't know, in the car, family car, and I turned on the radio and we're not going to take his play. So I said, I wonder what's on the other stations, and I hit the other button and we're not going to take his play. So there was 3 rock stations in town in New York and I go, I'm going for the trifecta here. Hit the button, we're not going to take his play. And I'm like, yes! I mean, that is the moment where I said, oh shit, you know, we've arrived. And then there's, you know, so many other moments, but, you know, I grew up on Long Island and there was an arena that I would go see concerts at called the Nassau Coliseum. And, you know, and I sat up in the nosebleed section watching bands the size of ants and, you know, and just dreaming of one day being on that stage. And we got our first gold album presented to us on that stage in my hometown, in front of my family, my friends, you know, and our peers. And that was really, again, one of those moments that you just go, yeah, we did it, you know, so.
That's amazing. We got time for one last question. I'm gonna go to that gentleman back there. That's you.
Really easy question. Who is your favorite and least favorite band to tour with, and why?
Favorite and least favorite band to tour with, and why? This is a stall tactic. I'm trying to think of the least favorite, you know, because we toured with some great bands, and at that time, you know, when we were out there, it really was, it was starting to break all over the place. It was happening, you know, touring with Maiden was amazing, you know, and doing 5 nights at the Long Beach Arena, sold out in a row. You know, it was like metal had arrived, you know, was being appreciated, respected, and touring with Metallica in Europe. And, you know, we did a lot of touring with Dokken and Y&T and so many of these bands back then. I think my favorite to tour with was Anvil. Yes. Okay, if anybody's saying, oh, who is Anvil? Yeah, that's the problem. Anvil was, you know, we were all there together. Maiden and Twisted and Slayer and Metallica, and we were all lined up and we were all playing these small venues and we were all dreaming of reaching the bigs. And some of us went far and others went farther. And then there's Anvil, who fell off the map. And it was sort of one of those days you go, hey, what happened to Anvil? You know, they were in the car with us for a few minutes there and now they're gone. And this great documentary came out. If you haven't seen it, it's worth digging up, about Anvil. And it's sort of a Spinal Tappy, you know, just confusion of just screw-ups with management and labels and everything. And they fell by the wayside. But because of this great documentary, they wound up getting, having a sort of a rebirth. And they actually play places. I got my favorite Anvil story is in Holland. We've got a night off. We decide, Twisted Sister and Anvil, 1983, we're going to a nice restaurant to have a nice meal. So I think it's 8 of us, 9 of us. We're walking in, and as we approach the restaurant, They literally turn the lights out on a completely packed restaurant, pull down the shades and hang out the close sign. They're going, closed, closed. And we're looking through the window going, I see people in there, and it's only 8:15. That was the day when people were just afraid of you when you just walked in, you know. As far as bands, the least favorite to tour with, I can't think of anybody off the top of the head because everybody is so nice to me. And I know it's purely out of fear, because I'm way bigger and scarier in real life than I am on the television set. So, and I got a great, just proving that point. Kip Winger. Okay, now I am known, my last name is not a proper noun, it's an adjective. I am Snider than the rest of you, okay? And I'm known, if you listen to the House of Hair, I am just mouthing off about everybody, and including myself. I believe I'm pretty self-deprecating and mock myself pretty readily as well. Well, one day, I'm at an event, and Kip Winger is across the room. Okay, I will need you to climb up on the stage. You will be playing D. Snider in this scenario. You are now D. Snider, okay? And I'm Kip Winger. All right, you're standing there, okay? Just look, you know, sturdy, confident, masculine, and well-hung. Okay? So Kip spots me across the room, and he goes, Dick! What's up? He goes, I want to talk to you about something. Listen, you've been talking on the radio about me, and I literally pokes me in the chest, and he goes, well, you're in good shape. Literally says, you're in good shape. You're in good shape. Listen, man, if you could just go easier on the band, I'd really appreciate it. And he slinks away. The attitude changed from this far in the room to when he got up to me, and I see that every day on the street. I know that some people want to say things to me, but when I get up there, I go, he still looks like he's got something in him. I don't know. Not worth it, not worth it. Not worth it. So everybody's really nice to me, so I can't really say that I've had any problem or hate for any band that I toured with.
It's a hell of a way to end it. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise one more again for D. Snider!
Love talking to you. Thank you for coming out to hang out for a little bit. Tell your friends. Don't do drugs.